What is an appositive? What's an appositive? What's an appositive?
What's an appositive?
What's an appositive? Ants are pretty cool. I mean, they build entire cities underground and are able to carry so much more than their body weight. But on a completely unrelated note, appositives are what define the noun, so we, as the reader, know exactly what the author is trying to say. No confusion here. That's pretty cool. Hello?
Every single thing in grammar comes with complications. What's with appositives?
Well, this is pretty easy. Appositives are separated by commas, so you can tell that Sir Arthur Black, separated by the commas here, is the appositive. It's basically clarifying the knight that guarded the castle. Appositives, if you take them out of the sentence, this main sentence can still survive on its own. We have another example here too. Amy went to Costa Rica, comma, an island in Central America. Now, Amy went to Costa Rica can survive on its own, but we have an appositive, an island in Central America, that just gives you clarification on where Amy went, where the island is located, and it just helps to make more sense. Putting the appositive between commas, it sets it off from the subject of the sentence, and when you're speaking the sentence, you would pause right after the word night, and again after the word black. So you want to make sure you give pause where you're supposed to when you're reading the sentence, and especially when you're reading it out loud. Notice you can remove the appositive from the sentence once again, and it will still make sense. Again, think about it as a modifier to what's really going on here. Also, just one last tip, appositives can't stand alone. Think about them as adjectives to what's going on in the sentence. Take this out, the knight guarded the castle can still survive on its own. I hope this helps you more with appositives in your writing. Happy writing! I'm Paige Carrera.
Commas? 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 Now I bet when you started this video, you didn't think commas would be such a problem. But that pesky little punctuation mark is essential when it comes to forming an appositive phrase. When an appositive begins the sentence should be structured like so. A hot-tempered tennis player, Robbie, charged the umpire and tried to crack the poor man's skull with a racket. When the appositive is in the middle of a sentence, it should look a little bit like this. Robbie, a hot-tempered tennis player, charged the umpire and tried to crack the poor man's skull with a racket. And when the appositive is at the end of a sentence, it should look just like this. Upset by the bad call, the crowd cheered Robbie, a hot-tempered tennis player who charged the umpire and tried to crack the poor man's skull with a racket. I sure hope after all that information you're thinking appositively, but can you use it in a sentence? Here's me and Isaac with some examples.
What is an appositive? I'm glad you asked. One example of an appositive is Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, yuck.
Was accidentally taken out with the trash by Big Bird.
I'm happy to be me!
Yeah!
Who lives in a trash can? Wait, that's wrong. Let's flip that appositive around, and let's get it right. How about Oscar the Grouch, who lives in a trash can, was accidentally taken out with the trash by Big Bird? That sounds right to me. What about you?
You stand alone to every record I own. Music to my heart, that's what you are. A song that goes on and on. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby.
Happy, my unsuspecting sister, was shot by a ninja. Can you find the appositive phrase? You have 3, 2, 1.
I hope you've liked our video, but do you know what an appositive is yet? Let's test that knowledge and prove to Dr. Lathan that you understood our video. For this next part, I'm going to say a few sentences, and you have to answer out loud and say what the appositive is. So, are you ready? Here's sentence 1. Pam, an employee of Dunder Mifflin, fell in love with another employee named Jim. Ready? What's the appositive? 3, 2, 1. Did you get it? Were you right? The answer was an employee from Dunder Mifflin. Pam, an employee from Dunder Mifflin, fell in love with another employee named Jim. There's one last step until you get a surprise sweet treat from me and Isaac. Think you know what an appositive is? Say it out loud now. Good. Very good. And can you use it in a sentence? Just yell one out right now. Doesn't matter who's next to you, just say it out loud. Okay. All right. So we're all thinking appositively right now, and I think Dr. Lathan is a little bit impressed with our use of appositives. So I think we should end it on a good note. I'm going to put an appositive phrase up on the board for you to read. Just read it out loud, loud and clear, as loud as you possibly can, and let Dr. Lathan know that you know what an appositive is. And you'll finally get your surprise sweet treat. Now go think appositively.